Welcome to Turn Extension, a supplemental podcast for the Advanced Maneuvers YouTube channel.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Turn Extension. My name is Tony, or Polar Bear Cub on the forums.
Hey everybody, it's Devin, Cutthroat Cure on the forums.
This is Gaston.
Alright, so for today we have two topics we're going to talk about. First, we're going to talk about some community stuff dealing with the theme forces, and then afterwards we're going to talk a little bit about a list that Gaston has. So first off, community. Let's talk about kind of theme forces. Earlier today I was listening to Chain Attack, and they were talking about how originally they thought Privateer Press wanted to have about 50% of all lists be theme force lists. I think for me personally, looking after the Themepocalypse came out, 100% of every list I have built so far has been within theme. And I kind of wanted to hear what your guys' thoughts are on that.
Well, Herman, we can start with you.
I mean, I was already building all of the lists in theme. With the reason why I was ever going out of theme was for a specific interaction. And so I think that was already the default going into the Themepocalypse, and now you're just going to see more of that default. Like a pretty good example is before Will Work for Food came out, I always took Carver out of theme so that way I could get Gremlin Swarms. Now I can get them in theme, it's not a problem. So there's always these specific little interactions that you're looking for that you say, is this more important to me than what I'm giving up? And sometimes the list type that you're trying to build doesn't necessarily fit the themes that are available. So like if you have a theme force that gives you benefits for taking a lot of jacks, but you have a caster who want to take infantry, then it's not necessarily going to work for you. So it's going to be theme with the exception for something that you think is worth being out of theme for.
For me, I will definitely say like the lists I've been creating are theme-based, and it's only because of the fact that I'm understanding that I'm getting free points, you know? And that's more or less, maybe it's just because I have so little time to actually get the playlist that I'm trying to build lists that I feel like would be a little bit, I don't want to say more competitive, but, you know, they're going to hold their own a little bit more. So that's definitely been something I've been focusing on. I have to say since the Themepocalypse came out that things like, you know, like my Band of Heroes theme force list that I was running, since the Themepocalypse came out, I'm playing exactly the same list, but now I got an extra, what is his name? The Trollblood hero, champion hero got added because of the fact that for no extra cost, nothing, because Fenblades now cost in, you know, count towards the point cost. I got an extra 5-point solo, so that's been super beneficial.
I think it's nice too, because I mean, yeah, like with me looking at the Clockwork Legion, I feel that now I'm playing, starting to build a bunch of lists that, hey, I really want all these units. And now things like the Enigma Foundry, which I know before I stated that even if they were free, they would still cost too much. But now I want to play them all the time because there's a lot of infantry that I can put on the table. And I'm hoping that I will be more excited about playing the recursion mechanic with this change, because at least I am getting models that are free. I mean, I could effectively get 8 points of free models. You know, just depending on how I'm building my list, I really am only getting 8 points as opposed to, I think I can get up to a maximum of 12 with that. Just because I still want to have a decent amount of jacks, pretty much with all of my casters to deal with the induction and convergence. But
Do you want jacks or do you want TEPs?
I can't have TEPs in Clockwork Legion, unfortunately.
Oh.
More like TEDs.
Yeah, they were really smart with not allowing the TEP in the Clockwork Legion. I think it's a good call. I'm just a little sad.
Well, and I think people get a little bit too focused on the free points aspect of things. Like, it's not, the point of the list is not to maximize your free points. The point of the list is to build a strong list. So I've got some, like, I think my Arcadius list is 23 free points. And then I have, like, the list I'm going to talk about today, FUR3, is 4. Because it's just what's appropriate for the list.
I think for me, it has definitely been the fact that when Mark III first came out and I was trying to make lists for my trolls, I always felt like there was certain piece, you know, because I'm playing as, you know, an army that's supposed to have a lot of synergy, And I felt like due to the point costs, those synergies weren't working. Like I was missing a lot of those pieces of the synergy. And that kind of caused issues for me, and it actually, caused me to, as we said in earlier casts, like just start, being really upset about the faction. I do have to say that I've noticed that since these new theme forces has come out, that I'm having less of an issue getting the things into the army that I want. I'm having my units that are able to take a beating and keep on moving, and I have, heavy hitters plus some beasts. So, it's been allowing me to do a little bit more with what I want. I don't know if the theme forces are the best thing for the game in general, just because, now we're back into that Mark II feeling where, so for me, it sucks because it's like, it feels like Mark II again because of the fact that we now have that same situation where people are making lists and then people are saying, well, why aren't you playing this theme? Now, granted, you can use any caster now, so you're not, it's not just a thing of, oh, why aren't you playing Calandra? Why aren't you playing this person? Why aren't you playing Doomy 3? But it is back to that fact of, I think it's really starting to limit list building because people are immediately clicking the theme list they want to do, oh, I'm going to play a lot of Beasts, well, I better go Power of Dunya. Oh, I'm going to play, I want to get a bunch of units for a scenario presence. Oh, I better go with Band of Heroes. So, I definitely feel like that's happening a little bit more again, which feels very reminiscent of Mark II. But, I guess those things happen.
No, and I think the same way. Yeah, you do have that whole issue where a lot of people are going to be like, why aren't you playing this list? Why aren't you playing this list? But at least it's a little bit more broad now, where there's different casters you can play with it, as opposed to this list is the only list, and because it's a theme, it was only with this one caster in Mark II. At least you have different casters you can play with it, which is a little bit better.
Do you believe that, so let me ask you this. Now, while I will definitely say there's more casters available, do you really see a very different, generally a very different grouping of casters playing in lists? Because, yes, you might see, like, let's look at my absolute favorite Creel company, which that's me being sarcastic. But in general, people are not going to play a Doomy in that. They're not going to play a Madrek in that. You're basically only going to see a Grim, or you're going to see a Gunbjorn. Not that you should see that.
So you're critical of people not taking a Beast caster in an infantry theme?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it feels like even though we have all these supposed options for it,
right?
It just feels to me like you're still super limited. But
I think you are, because like in Convergence, I'm not gonna. I will bring Lucan with that, but like I don't necessarily see Mother going with Clockwork Legion, or I don't see Syntherian going with Clockwork Legion. But at least it does. At least it's just not one caster. Like at least you're not just always gonna see Grim with that list. You're at least gonna see Grim or possibly Madrak. And there's 3 versions of Madrak you could see. So.
Yeah, I agree. I can see where you're coming from with that. It just, as I said, I just feel like, I've said it many times, I hate the idea of being very themeless centralized, No,
and I agree. I think that, and I don't think that's never going to go away in Mark III, at least. We are always going to see themes, I think, going forward on Mark III. I think if you're not looking at themes, it's a challenge. I think the good thing is, at least, is there's so many themes that are out now. At least for the next few months, you're going to see a wide variety of themes being tried, which is kind of exciting, because you're going to be able to see, different types of themes, different themes out there. You're going to see different people playing. You're not necessarily going to be teching against that one theme anymore, because there's going to be so many different themes. I know some of them are going to,
Ghost theme is still going to be, Ghost Fleet's still going to be very prevalent.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I would say like Ghost Fleet, obviously, that's still going to be there, but then what's going to pair with? Is it really going to pair with another Ghost Fleet, or are we going to see it pairing with like Black Fleet or something else that's coming up?
Well, it's Darkhost Ghost Fleet, but they have natural predators now.
And what do you think of their natural predators are now?
Whatever. I don't know the names of any of these things. The Scorn one.
Oh, okay. The Meow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meowcada.
Is that really what it's called, the Meow?
That's what people have been
okay.
calling it, because it's you can get 2 units of their cat cavalry.
The
And it makes
Ferox.
all of their melee attacks RFP.
I think it's actually MOW, but people just called it meow.
It's European. The E is silent.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Scorn Band of Heroes.
Yep, Scorn Band here is
it's
pretty
like
much.
the troll version, but good.
Troll version. Okay.
Don't listen to him. Don't let him get you riled up.
He's not getting me riled up. I said the troll version's good. Which is not saying much.
Is that what you're going to play against me the next video round?
Depends on what I get painted, because I've been locked into one list the last 2 scramble rounds because I didn't paint the other stuff.
Oh my god,
Come on. It's a sad day when I'm more painted than you.
So I really want to try to get involved in the next scramble. I really need to figure out if I'm going to play Convergence or if I'm going to play Signar. And I really...
Seriously?
Yes, because I go through this every couple of months, Herman, where I'm like, I do well with Convergence, but man, Signar, I love, like, the Grave Diggers. I think they're so cool.
Jesus
So I
Christ.
think
It's like my wife asking what channel HBO is. It's the same goddamn answer every time.
I think
Convergence.
so. It's for me though. It's more or less of the fact of, did you get Siege 2 painted?
No, I haven't yet. I have
More
not
More
painted.
importantly, does Siege 2 look like an idiot?
So I'm actually going to have him, like, shooting himself forward because I broke part of his foot, so I have to cover it.
Shooting himself in the foot. Yes. Actually, that's exactly what his model looks like. You just rotate that hand downwards, and he's, Paxton Lynch?
Get out of here.
Pac-Man Jones. Pac-Man Jones.
Anyways,
That's who it was.
Devin, what were you saying? So let's theoretically, let's say if I did get Siege 2 painted. Okay, theoretically, let's say he's painted.
Then play Signar, just because you did all the legwork to, make sure that you got the early spoils and everything, and you were really excited, and you got him when he first came out, so then why not?
I know. I'm so excited to play him. Like, I love Siege. And that's really what keeps dragging me back. And I really like the idea of playing Haley 3. Haley 3 was a really exciting model when it came out, like 2 years ago. Being super pumped with that. I really like this idea of Gravediggers. Like, I think it's kind of a cool theme to play. I want to play Cray again, because Cray looks so much fun.
I really like Siege, but his model looks like he stepped in dog shit.
I don't know. I think a lot can be done with that model. I think that if you do, like, straight out of the box, right as is, I think that it does look a little bit goofy and Space Marine-ish.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I think that if you take a little bit of extra time, you do some weathering effects, maybe you add a little bit of, like, a jet trail or something, or even repose it after you break the foot, I think you could do some fun stuff with it. It's just all about... I think, so for me, I think if you want to go and you want to be competitive, which I can't believe I'm saying this, if you want to be competitive, then you should play Convergence, because you just have more reps with them in the last bit, and they're just, they're a good army for you. Play it well. But if you want to get into playing a caster, a specific caster that you like, or fuck it, put it up to a fucking vote. Put a poll up on the Advanced Maneuvers page and let the viewers pick.
That's actually exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put it out there because I'm going to be at PAX Unplugged in a couple weeks, and I need to figure out what armies to bring.
Hey, viewers, disclaimer on this. He's going to listen to your vote for like 3 minutes and then change his mind 18 more times.
That's not true. I just do it with Herman. I do it with Herman all the time. Because Herman's...
It's what happens.
Because Gaston's is always steady. It's always Convergence. No diverging from Convergence. Gaston's allowed to diverge to different factions, but I'm not supposed to.
Yeah,
but
I also play like 3 times as much as you.
Whatever.
The question is, what armies have you beaten Herman with?
Only Convergence.
There you go.
Oh, no, I beat him with Signar that one time that he was playing Convergence.
Yes, you did. You beat the Convergence right out of me. I put the Fear of God into you, too, with that assassination run.
But let the viewers pick. Have fun with it. That's what this is about. Like, you already have a hard enough getting games in as it is, with a newborn and your job and everything else. Just pick something that you know that you're going to have fun with and go from there. That's all that should matter.
That's true,
Well, no. Also, what matters is the next scramble is ADR.
Is it ADR?
It's ADR casters, yeah.
God damn it.
Wait, it has to be ADR casters?
Yeah.
Fuck, that means no Axis.
Wait, when did
Or
that happen?
Orion. Wait a minute, I'm going to petition this, because if I get conversions, I'm playing Orion. God
Do you
damn it.
all, not listen to our fearless overlord?
I can't read or write, first off.
And I don't remember him saying that, and I'm also in the channel.
Yeah, I'm petitioning this, God damn it. If I'm playing conversions, I want to play Orion.
Anyways, what's interesting to cycle back to the Theme Force discussion is actually ADR. Because with all these themes, you have these free solos, and I think it actually makes it easier to swap models in and out of ADR without having to worry about plus or minus, a couple points here or there.
True, because what, you get 20 points per list?
40.
40. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of points.
40?
Yeah.
You get...
That's
If
If you recall, in Mark II, it was 20
You're
Right.
right.
point lists.
Yeah, that's what I keep thinking about, because it was 20 yet. And that's true. So that does actually provide a lot of flexibility going into tournaments, actually. Because, for me, if it was the last ADR from January to June, ADR was Axis and Lacan. And a lot of people were playing a shit ton of models that you can switch in and out. So you could have 2 TEPs or a shit ton of galvanizers, stuff like that. So
And
that
also think about it.
helpful.
At least when the last version, when we had ADR in Mark II, it was under half points. Now you have ADR being over half of your points.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
If you're looking at not including Warjack points, it's over half.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
when I play a game, I include Warjack points. I don't know how you play. I'm not judging how you play your game, but I'm just saying when I play my game.
Devin, I understand what you
I'm
mean.
using the-
Don't listen to negative Nancy.
You also
Negative
get,
Nancy. Yeah, positive here.
probably get significantly more Warjack points than I do.
It's true, yeah. Sometimes you do get a free avatar every once in a while there.
Hey, War Room said it's fine.
All right, so sorry, we went on a slight tangent.
But
We
you
got back
see how I
onto it.
managed to frickin' full circle that shit?
You did. It was very good.
That's why I'm a professional podcaster who doesn't make any money.
That's true. All right, so I guess, do you guys have any more final thoughts kind of on... I know earlier you were talking, Devin, you were talking a little bit more about the Band of Brothers and stuff like that. Did you have any other thoughts on that or no?
I think it's definitely interesting. I'm really interested to see what they're going to be doing with these themeless CIDs, and I'm really interested to see how the community takes it, because we already have what I like to feel. I feel like we have the community is not stable right now. Like it's been very volatile. Everybody's either
You mean like
super into-
mentally?
yeah, in general, right? Just like the communities in general, like it's like people are either super into it right now, or or like, oh man, I'm so excited about this, I can't freaking wait. Like this is the best thing ever. And then like the next minute they're like, fuck this. Where's the next game? I think the one thing that everybody's at least agreed upon recently has been the fact that everybody's excited and super stoked for Company of Iron, and that's been the only consistent that I've noticed since we've been, in all of this recently. So I'm really, really curious to see how the community is going to pan out when it comes to this, when it comes to these CID themes, because people are right now, they're painting up, models to go in their themes, and then you're telling me that in November, Black Fleet is supposed to go into CID. What's that going to do? Now, honestly, it could do exactly what Herman said, which is like the Blind Water, just focus on the new stuff that's coming out.
Mm-hmm. Which that's what I see it doing.
Correct, and I could see that too. But the fact is that we don't know. Nobody knows what it's going to do. Because if they would come out and tell us, hey, this is what we're hoping to do with the, the theme for the, the CID in November with this, don't worry so much, then people might be like, oh, okay. But we don't have that. And the question is, why? So,
Yeah,
but that's That's not me being salty. That's just me being, it's
like, observant. Because even in our group discussion, that was one thing that was brought up by, I think, 2 or 3 different members was, well, if we just had these theme releases exposed, if we already see them, why is it going to CID? And I see the thought process, even though, the minions kind of came out right before the theme release dropped. My thought was it was going to be like how the Trench Run was, hey, here's a theme list. Luckily, we already know what it is. Probably won't be that many changes from it, but really it's going to be focused on these are the models that were built for Black Fleet, so let's make sure they play well within the theme and that these models make sense. Because this is probably going to be, they're going to come out with a theme box, I think, for every single faction, and this is going to be what their theme box is going to be. It's going to be the Black Fleet. And it's going to focus around Scar 3 as well. So we're going to see Scar 3.
Which will be really interesting, especially since they're coming out with these theme boxes, and she is much larger than any other basically new theme caster.
Yeah.
So the theme boxes don't include casters.
That's true. Right, the theme boxes doesn't.
With the exception of the Gator, because the way theme boxes are structured is to be 35 or 50 points, whatever the number is. Then you add it to a battle box.
Yeah. So the minions one is different because they don't have a battle box. I'm actually really jealous of what the Northkin one looks like. I'm a little disappointed how the Signar one turned out.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. We only are getting 1, 2, 3 of the new models in it.
Yeah.
We're getting Valka, the Curseborn. We're getting the Creelstone new dude. We're getting the Northkin Shaman, who we already have. And that's it.
You're not getting a unit in it?
I think we're getting I don't think we're getting the Raiders. I think we're getting the, maybe the Ambushing Bears, but I don't know. I think 1 unit of the Ambushing Bears.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look at that, but I was considering purchasing it, but I looked at it and I was like, well, I already have literally 90% of this, so...
And that's how I felt with the Trencher one, because really the only new things at the beginning is Patrol Dog and Hitch. Those are the only 2 new models from this thing that came out. I was really sad they didn't put the Long Gunners in it. I honestly thought they were kind of going to. And then they have the Cannon Crew in there, which I've never bought the Cannon Crew, so that would be cool to have. But I'm just going to not get that box. I'm going to wait. Because I'm hoping that, by the end of next month, pretty much all the Trencher stuff should be out. I might actually even get a Blockhouse.
You need 2 of them.
I don't know. No, sorry, what were you saying?
I was gonna ask Herman about his list that's only got 4 points.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, you have a list that only has 4 points?
3 points.
3 points? That's a pretty depressing list.
I don't think so.
Does it have Thorn Gun Mages in it?
No.
I hear they're trash.
That list actually had 8 points in it, and I don't know what toilet seat he was sitting on when he started spouting out that nonsense.
They're I think they're really good.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that list too, since I'm basically Kevin for tonight as well.
It made me chuckle because I read that conversation and he was like, garbage.
I already changed it up just to make him happy.
That's very nice of you.
Instead of the double gun mages, it's Nist Hunters now.
I thought you were going to put Eridan in it.
Yeah, that's until I realized that the Dominatrix, or whatever it's called, it takes the place of the Chieftain and Guide. So since I can't have Prey or Dig In, I'm a lot less interested in them.
I think Nist Hunters are a good change for that. They get the range and they get a nice power.
Well, he can throw Blur on them too, so that they're defense 17.
Fuck, that's good.
And it actually brings their, because Blur brings up your arm too, right?
No.
Just let everyone know, by the way, we're talking about a Siphon list.
Yeah. Syphilis or whatever his name is.
Yeah. That guy who does this thing with the stuff.
He's got like a squid head.
He touches everyone's models because his feet is he push everything.
No, this is the hands-off one.
No, this is the ice cream cone. Siphons is the one that gives everybody, +3 armor, isn't it? And then they have to take 5 damage points.
Okay, that's a straight-up horrible feat. It's +3 speed, strength, and armor.
Oh, that's
Jesus Christ.
We're really good at this game.
I just went again this Saturday.
Well, his list, my list is probably pretty similar to his list.
Well, what list do you want to talk about first? Since you're talking about this one, let's talk about this one
Yeah.
first.
So my thought process going in was that the operating theater just got all of their Crick solos added back in. So I kind of like the idea of Cognifex Siphon because you take a very large battle group, and he's very much a battle group-oriented caster, and then you populate it with all these random solos like Pistol Wraiths and Bloat Thralls who are anti-infantry. And the concept being that is you're meant to crack armor, but here you have all these models that you're just now benefiting from. They're new and they're shiny that you can use to kind of clear out infantry, particularly because as themes are coming in, becoming more popular, you're seeing an increase in the amount of infantry there. What I was running into, though, is Operating Theater gives you not points for solos, so I ended up kind of scrapping that in the long run and going with a slightly different direction. So the list itself is Cognifex Siphon, a Warden, 4 Wreckers, 3 Agitators, a Machine Wraith, Mindbender and Drudges, got my free Overlords, and then a Dominator with the Nis Hunters.
So his list had 2 and 2. So 2 of the big, long chain dudes, and then 2 of the clampy dudes.
So I've got 4 chain dudes and 1 clampy.
Right.
I'm running 5 heavies.
Right, that's already running considerably more than what the last version I saw on Saturday was.
That's a lot of heavies, but with Sacrificial Pawn, that makes a lot of sense. That is that is a hard thing to get over, is that Sacrificial Pawn, I feel.
Not to mention, don't the wreckers, the ones with the chains, don't when they take damage, they get a focus?
They get a focus. Also, the theme gives them hyper-aggressive.
So yeah, so then once again, you do the little thing where the other dudes stab them in the back. They get a free focus that, isn't limited, and then they just go off. Because that's what happened with me. It's like I attacked, and then he would just walk up, stab his dudes, and then move along.
I mean, it doesn't hurt that on feet turn, they're speed 8, POW 22, armor 20, with reach, so that's what, 8, 10, 13-inch threat range? That's not too bad. It's pretty reasonable.
That's pretty good.
And
That's pretty decent.
Obviously, one of the things that got really annoying is I basically feel like I have to add in the Mindbender and Drudges, because in order to get Siphon to do anything, he has to use Essence Amplifier when he kills off a Drudge. So, like, if you want to use Breath Stealer, it becomes range 15, things like that. But then the idea is basically you have Blur, you put that on the Nis, you throw Onslaught on Siphon himself, then Perseverance onto the Warden, and that bumps him up to armor 20, which, that's okay. Not fantastic. And then, I mean, Def 17 Nis, you're able to sling your spells out. The Machine Wraith just goes and contests shit. So, I think it's pretty reasonable.
Seems okay.
And I mean, even once the feat is expended, that's still the Warden will be armor 23, I believe. The Wreckers will all be armor 20 on the feat turn, so they'll be smashing some face.
The dudes with the chains are 17. The ones with the clamps are 18.
Yeah, but they're plus 3 armor on the feet.
No, I was saying base. So I didn't know if that was helping your math.
I think my math is right because Perseverance is plus 2 armor. And the other guy is armor 18, so 23. The rest are armor 20. So the idea is that you get a limited Alpha Strike with them. And you can even use the Nis as like bubble wrap for them as well if you really want to, because the Nis will be difficult to remove without committing.
Right.
And then so you go in, you trade up a little bit, you have your feet turn up. Hopefully you're trading up and the trade back is a little bit weaker. And then the Wreckers will still go in at, POW 19. With the Agitators buffing them up on the off feet turn.
That's pretty solid.
I think so.
So now he has to play it.
Yeah, not me.
No, I said he has to play it.
So
Your other half.
He's got to decide on a faction first.
That's true.
He's my pretty half. He's like a little butterfly.
See, he's worse than I am on factions.
Yes, he is.
Put that for the record. For the record, Kevin is significantly worse than I am.
Did you say wrecker or record?
For the record. For the record.
Warmachine dad jokes, baby.
Yeah! All right, what about your other list you got?
So I've got, this one's a real Protectorate list. That one was a fake Protectorate. Fallen Menites. So this one only has one free card, just so you all get over it. It is Faithful Masses. It's Fiora the Conquering Flame, a Revelator, 2 Dervishes, Hand of Judgment, 2 Vassals, 2 Racks, a Min Choir, a Max Holy Zealots with a Monolith Bearer, and 2 Deliver Sunburst Crews. And I think I like this list quite a bit.
So what are you trying to do with that list then?
Punish the world.
Okay.
Like, oh my god. So this thing, I feel like just like layers synergies on top of each other. So this is the Fiora that has Insight. So pretty much anything that gets near her is going to have some serious issues.
I said eat shit and die.
Well, I mean, she's got pretty reasonable stat line. She's 14-18. And then on any given turn, she'll probably be camping... I don't think I have a Hierophant in here. So 4 for Insight, Upkeep Redline, sets 5. She'll be camping 2. So, you know, use some terrain, use your stuff. But let's say you have Insight up. So the Revelator comes in. He's base POW 15 on the guns. Insight makes that POW 17. Choir makes that POW 19. And then Hand of Judgment makes that a POW 21 gun. So, I mean, POW 21 gunshots is pretty reasonable, I think.
I mean, they're decent.
And then I guess the Lightbringers are only POW 12, 14, 16, 18, POW 18.
Fuck you.
So 2 POW 21s, 2 POW 18s. The Fists, I think, what are they, 21, 23...
You said it was like 26.
25, 20... I think this particular one maxes at 27.
You're such a cunt.
And then...
well, we worked... 7.
Yeah, I mean, I can build one that gets all the way up to POW 33.
What? How?
Yeah.
It takes
Okay, let's go through this here. So you start with POW 21 base. The Choir is 23. Insight is 25. Hand of Vengeance is 27. And then Redline is 29. Rust from Gorman is 31. And then if you take Iona and Holt with the Attendant Priest, you can get up to 33. It didn't really seem worth it, so I just kind of stopped without Rust and without Iona and Holt.
Yeah, you're right. Not worth it. That's probably overkill at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it also gets +2 speed and charges for free.
Seems good.
So, but then, like, you start looking at things like the Holy Zealots. So this is, they haven't been through, their CID stuff hasn't been released. I think they go up to Rat 5 in that. So you start at Rat 5, and Sight bumps you up to Rat 7. So, you know, that's pretty reasonable right there. But then they have the POW 12 bombs, and then they have Fervor. So their POW 12 bombs actually go to POW 14, POW 16 bombs with Insight, or use the Hand of Judgment to get to POW 18 bombs. So you can throw 10 Rat 7 POW 18 bombs at something, which is usually enough to do some damage. I mean, at that point, you're dice off 1, so that's about 60 damage on a single target, single armor 19 target. And, I mean, the other thing is that at that point, they can just... They don't even need to hit with the bombs. They can just clear infantry out with the blast damage. Because if you just look at the blast damage, you're looking at, you know, POW 6 blast damage, POW 8, POW 10 once you add in Insight. Similar things with the Sunburst crew. You know, they're range 16. They have a really nice AoE 4 continuous fire for clearing out infantry. You can see there's a lot of infantry clearing out to kind of help the jacks. But the other reason why I have these dervishes in here is because even though they don't benefit from Hand of Vengeance from the theme anymore, because that was a little broken, they still trade up incredibly well. I mean, this is a 7-point light jack. Starts at POW 13, Choir 15, Insight 17, Redline 19. So this little 7-point jack with Redline, I believe they charge for free. So you get 5 swings at Mat 9, POW 19. That'll scrap a heavy.
Jesus.
So, and the thing with it is like...
It sounds like Menoth is now the synergy faction, no longer trolls.
Yeah, I
Well,
know.
you just have to build your lists together. I don't know why that's like build a list with these things in mind. And the thing with it is that you don't need to do like I'm maxing everything out in these calculations. You really only need to combine like one of these things together. You don't need to get like to POW 29 on your Revelator. POW 25 will do the trick just fine. And so while you have a really high ceiling, you don't ever need to achieve it. You just need to achieve, 2 out of the 4 buffs. And that's kind of the idea here, is that you use the buffs incrementally where the positioning makes sense, and pretty much anything within 10 inches of your army is just going to die unless it's immune to fire. And that's your built-in weakness right there, is immunity to fire.
AKA troll.
Some of the trolls. And I mean, but that's why you have some nice fists to back it up, and you have a speed buff. Because, like, the Hand of Judgment, it's a POW 20 in melee with just the choir. And then, 22 with Insight, and 24 with Redline. So
you guys should be proud of me, not to interrupt.
Why?
I just painted my first arc markers on my first model ever.
What, you've never done that before?
Nope.
I've heard it's pretty optional.
What do you do then? Show just where the front arc of your models are.
Shoulders.
Oh, just shoulder to shoulder?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Proud of you, Devin.
Thanks, guys.
So, but this whole list only has 5 free points from I get a free Sunburst crew. So, they're kind of nice. I like the Sunburst crew.
Some Sunburst crew for 5 points is not too bad. That's actually pretty decent.
So, but I like them in pairs. So the fact that I get one for free and then I just pay for the other one, and it worked out so beautifully, it must be the correct choice.
It's true.
So, I don't know. I think that's a pretty solid list. I'm probably never going to play it. Because I don't own a Revelator or a Few or a 3.
Does anybody own a Revelator?
I
think November?
Reset the clock.
Probably in November, yeah. Hey, man, they might have them at PAX Unplugged if you go.
I'm not going to buy it.
I can't believe that.
No, I don't want to spend the money.
It's true, yeah. You got all this other stuff with your red. And...
Yeah, the thing is, that, like, I have a shit ton of stuff. I don't need to be buying more stuff. I thought it was a really neat dojo where you can really start stacking. Like, it really exemplifies all the things that people bitch about that Protectorate doesn't have. I'm like, no, this is how you build a list where everything functions together as part of one giant whole. And it works really nicely. Because, like, we didn't even get to the part where the Zealots mini-feat and they all come back to life.
God damn.
And then you use that to trigger Hand of Vengeance on the heavies.
That's pretty powerful.
And it's also a complete departure from like something like my Arcadius list, where I've got 23 free points in solos. That list, you don't need the free solos. You just have, the point that fleshes it out.
Makes sense. All right. I think for that, actually might be a cast, unless you guys got any last-minute things you want to talk about.
I really don't understand the theme force debate.
What do you mean?
Just playing every single game has ways of forcing you into thematic elements. Like, why is this such a big deal? Friggin', you play 40k, all the Ultramarines have to be Ultramarines in order to benefit from Ultramarine shit. You play Malifaux, all the Lilith shit has to benefit from Lilith shit to get Lilith shit. You have sectorial armies in Infinity. Like, every single modern miniatures game has a version of Theme Force. Just play the damn Theme Force.
Devin?
I was going to say something. I was going to say that it was never, I think one of the major things about Warmachine and Hordes is that you were never really super restricted, like 40k, you have to kind of pick what's going to go on each person. Same goes with Infinity, where in Warmachine and Hordes, every character comes, stacked. Like what they've got is what you use and what you have at your disposal. You don't get to add extra guns. You don't get to add extra bombs, grenades, anything. What you pay points for is going to be the same that you pay points for whoever takes it. So I think that then you remove some of the benefits of why you have these other factions who take theme forces. So in 40k, people take white scars. You play in that faction so you can take nothing but your bikes as a unit. None of our units change. I don't get to then take a unit of fell
hang on a second here. So when I play in World Work for Food, a War Beast centered theme, all of my War Beasts gain overtake. When I play in the Trencher theme, a Trencher focused theme, all of my Trenchers gain rise.
That's pretty
when
sweet.
I play in the White Scars theme, all of my white scars gain scars. I don't really know what they gain.
I don't even know what white
They
scars
gain
is.
something.
White scars
It's the Space Marines that they're white with red scars or something.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
They're the motorcycles. So as soon as you take their force by playing just a White Scar army, any bikers, which are usually an elite, become all units. So then now you can take elite forces as a unit. And I'm just saying, in the same in Infinity, there's certain models that you can't take usually unless you play in a sector because it changes how they interact in the game. It actually changes the makeup of your force, where it's like, so it would be like in 2017's, it would be like in Warmachine and Hordes, especially with the 2017 Steamroller, if you took a certain theme list and all of your beasts also counted as being a unit. So then they could take up both of the scenarios. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's a weird way to say it, but that would be the same iteration.
I actually think that would make a really interesting theme benefit.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I have to agree with you. So,
like, somebody write that one into Pagani.
That's actually not a bad one. That'd be kind of cool actually to see.
So that's where mine comes from. I don't have an issue with theme forces. I like theme forces. I think they're going to be fun. I think that hopefully they get more thematic, like actually thematic, because I think that's the one thing that's, like the Northkin one I'm excited about, because it might be, everybody's going to have like a Frost theme, or like the Trencher one. I like the Trencher one because of the fact that everything that's in it is a Trencher. So then you get this force that you can do a lot with, like, hobby-wise as well as gameplay-wise. And that's something I think they need to make sure that they kind of put a little bit more focus on.
So the other reason why you should like themes is that you get a brand new shiny without having to wait for the production schedule.
Wait, what?
You get something new and shiny to play with that is not directly tied to PP's production schedule. Theme Apocalypse could not have happened if it was tied to all the models.
It's true.
Like, now, you got some themes early, but now you have a Dawn Guard theme. It's a new shiny. You have a new way of playing with your Dawn Guard. You get to give all of your Griffins flank or whatever, your Hydras blow up the world. But you're not tied to the Dawn Guard release schedule. And at some point, the Dawn Guard release schedule will come along, and you get to play with the two together.
Is there more coming out for Dawn Guard?
There probably will be. It depends on whatever it's going to be, whatever whenever we get to RET, whatever the RET CID is going to be. I think it's going to come to a point where these CIDs are going to have to come quicker, and I don't know if they're all going to necessarily going to be tied to Prime, or if it is going to be tied to Prime, they're going to have to start putting multiple units in Prime at the same time. Or I don't think it's not going to be sustainable at this point.
We're only getting 6 primes a year.
Correct.
Which means that we would only get 6 theme forces out a year. I mean, that's how it's looking. I mean, this year, and we're already going to be limited because we already have 2 out. So that means that out of all the other factions, we're only getting through half of the factions before the end of the year.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, they're averaging like 1 a month. So you just double down in Prime.
Yeah, so that's what they're going to have to do is double down in Prime, but that means Prime books are probably going to be a lot thicker.
Or
but
you just get less fluff content.
Yeah, you get less fluff content. That's true.
Well, I don't know. Depends on the fact that now it seems like when they're focusing on a theme, they're putting a lot of thematic fluff in there.
Which they are, and it's just going to be what are they going to decide to do? Is this going to be the right path, or whatever they're going to change? But all right, we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank everyone for listening to another episode of Turn Extension. Have a good night.